The Comedy of Errors. Act 1. Chapter 1. One scene I a hall in the Duke's palace. Enter Duke, agent, jailer, officers, and other attendants. Age, proceed Solinus to procure my fall, and by the doom of death end woes and all. Chapter 500. Uke, merchant of Syracuse, plead no more. Chapter 1. Am not partial to infringe our laws. The enmity and discord which of late 5 sprung from the rancorous outrage of your Duke. To merchants, our well-dealing countrymen, who, wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their bloods. 10 excludes all pity from our threatening looks. For, since the mortal and intestine jars, twixt thy seditious countrymen and us. Chapter 1. T hath in solemn synods been decreed, both by the Syracusans and ourselves. 15 to admit no traffic to our adverse towns. Nay more. Chapter 1. If any born at Ephesus be seen at any Syracusan marts and fairs. Again, if any Syracusan born 20 come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the Duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied, to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, 25 cannot amount unto 100 marks. Therefore by law thou art condemned to die. Age, yet this my comfort, when your words are done. Chapter 1000. Why woes end likewise with the evening sun. Chapter 500. Uke, well Syracusans say in brief the cause. 30. Why thou departedst from thy native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus. Age, a heavier task could not have been imposed. Then I to speak my griefs unspeakable. Yet that the world may witness that my end was wrought by nature, not by vile offense. Chapter 1. I'll utter what my sorrow gives me leave. Chapter 1. In Syracuse was I born and wed unto a woman, happy but for me. And by me, had not our hap been bought with her, I lived in joy, our wealth increased. By prosperous voyages I often made to Epidamnum till my factor's death, and the great care of goods at random left. Chapter 500. Rel me from kind embracements of my spouse. 45 from whom my absence was not 6 months old. Before herself, almost at fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provision for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. 50 there had she not been long but she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and which was strange, the one so like the other, as could not be distinguished but by names. That very hour and in the self-same inn. 55 a meaner woman was delivered of such a burden, male twins both alike. Those, for their parents were exceeding poor. Chapter 1. Bought and brought up to attend my sons. Chapter 1000. Why wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys. 60 made daily motions for our home return. Unwilling I agreed, alas, too soon. We came aboard. A league from Epidamnum had we sailed, before the always window baying deep. 65 gave any tragic instance of our harm. But longer did we not retain much hope. For what obscured light the heavens did grant. Chapter 999. But convey unto our fearful minds a doubtful warrant of immediate death. 70 which though myself would gladly have embraced, yet the incessant weepings of my wife, weeping before for what she saw must come, and piteous plainings of the pretty babes, that mourned for fashion, ignorant what to fear. 75 forced me to seek delays for them and me. And this it was, for other means was none. The sailors sought for safety by our boat, and left the ship then sinking ripe to us. Chapter 1000. Why wife, more careful for the latter born, 80 had fastened him unto a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been like heedful of the other. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, 85 fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastened ourselves at either end the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the stream, was carried towards Corinth as we thought. At length the sun, gazing upon the earth, 90 dispersed those vapors that offended us. And, by the benefit of his wished light, the seas waxed calm, and we discovered 2 ships from far making amine to us. Of Corinth that, of Epidaurus this. 95 but ere they came, oh let me say no more. Gather the sequel by that went before. Chapter 500, Uke, nay forward old man, do not break off so. For we may pity, though not pardon thee. Age, oh had the gods done so, I had not now. 100 worthily termed them merciless to us. For, ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon, our helpful ship was splitted in the midst. 105 so that, in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left to both of us alike what to delight in, what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight but not with lesser woe. 110 was carried with more speed before the wind. And in our sight they 3 were taken up by fishermen of Corinth as we thought. At length another ship had seized on us, and, knowing whom it was their hap to save, 115 gave healthful welcome to their shipwrecked guests, and would have reft the fishers of their prey, had not their bark been very slow of sail, and therefore homeward did they bend their course. Thus have you heard me severed from my bliss. 120, that by misfortunes was my life prolonged, to tell sad stories of my own mishaps. Chapter 500, Uke, and for the sake of them thou sorrowest for. Chapter 500, owe me the favor to dilate it full. What hath befallen of them and thee till now? 125 age, my youngest boy and yet my eldest care. At 18 years became inquisitive. After his brother, and importuned me, that his attendant, so his case was like, reft of his brother but retained his name. 130 might bear him company in the quest of him, whom whilst I labored of a love to see. Chapter 1, hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 summers have I spent in furthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia. 135 and, coasting homeward, came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, yet loath to leave unsought, or that, or any place that harbors men. But here must end the story of my life, and happy were I in my timely deaths. 140, could all my travels warrant me they live. Chapter 500, Uke, hapless agent whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of dire mishap. Now, trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity. 145 which princes, would they, may not disannul. Chapter 1000, why soul should sue as advocate for thee. But though thou art a judge to the death, and past sentence may not be recalled, but to our honor's great disparagement, 150 yet will I favor thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I'll limit thee this day to seek thy help by beneficial help. Try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus. Beg thou or borrow to make up the sum. 155 and live, if no, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him to thy custody. Jail, I will, my lord. Age, hopeless and helpless doth age and wend, but to procrastinate his lifeless end. Exeunt. Chapter 1, 2 Scene II the mart. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse, Dromio of Syracuse, and first merchant. First mer, therefore give out you are of Epidamnum. Chapter 50, S that your goods too soon be confiscate. This very day, a Syracusan merchant. Chapter 1, S apprehended for arrival here. 5 and, not being able to buy out his life. According to the statute of the town. Chapter 501, Ease ere the weary sun set in the west. There is your money that I had to keep. And, S go bear it to the centaur where we host. 10 and stay there, Dromio, till I come to thee. Within this hour it will be dinner time. Till that, I'll view the manners of the town. Peruse the traders, gaze upon the buildings. And then return, and sleep within mine inn. 15 For with long travel I am stiff and weary. Get thee away. Chapter 500, Row, S many a man would take you at your word. And go indeed, having so good a mien, exit. And, S a trusty villain, sir, that very oft. 20 When I am dull with care and melancholy. Chapter 51, GH tends my humor with his merry jests. What, will you walk with me about the town? And then go to my inn, and dine with me. First mer, I am invited, sir, to certain merchants. 25 of whom I hope to make much benefit. Chapter 1, Crave your pardon, soon at 5 o'clock. Please you, I'll meet with you upon the mart. And afterward consort you till bedtime. Chapter 1000, Why present business calls me from you now. 30 Aunt, S farewell till then, I will go lose myself. And wander up and down to view the city. First mer, sir, I commend you to your own content, exit. Aunt, S he that commends me to mine own content. Chapter 100, Almonds me to the thing I cannot get. 35 I, to the world, am like a drop of water. That in the ocean seeks another drop. Who, falling there to find his fellow forth. Unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to find a mother and a brother. 40 in quest of them, unhappy, lose myself. Enter Dromio of Ephesus. Here comes the almanac of my true date. What now, how chance thou art returned so soon? Chapter 500, Row, returned so soon, rather approach too late. The capon burns, the pig falls from the spit. 45, the clock hath struck in 12 upon the bell. Chapter 1000, Why mistress made it one upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. 50 You have no stomach, having broke your fast. But we, that know what 'tis to fast and pray, are penitent for your default today. Aunt S stop in your wind, sir, tell me this I pray. Where have you left the money that I gave you? 55 Dro, EO, sixpence that I had owe Wednesday last. To pay the saddler for my mistress, Crupper. The saddler had it, sir, I kept it not. Aunt S I am not in a sportive humor now. Tell me, and dally not, where is the money? 60 We being strangers here, how darest thou trust so great a charge from thine own custody? Chapter 500, Row, I pray you jest, sir, as you sit at dinner. Chapter 1, From my mistress come to you in post. Chapter 1, If I return I shall be post indeed. 65 For she will score your fault upon my pate. Chapter 1000, thinks your maw like mine should be your clock. And strike you home without a messenger. Aunt S come, Dromio come, these jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. 70 Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee? Chapter 500, Row, to me, sir, why you gave no gold to me. Aunt S come on, sir knave, have done your foolishness. And tell me how thou hast disposed thy charge. Chapter 500, Row, my charge was but to fetch you from the mart. 75 Home to your house, the Phoenix, sir, to dinner. Chapter 1000, Why Mistress and Her Sister Stays for You. Aunt, S now, as I am a Christian, answer me. Chapter 1, And what safe place you have bestowed my money. Or I shall break that merry sconce of yours. 80 that stands on tricks when I am undisposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hadst of me? Chapter 500, Row, I have some marks of yours upon my pate. Some of my mistress, marks upon my shoulders. But not 1,000 marks between you both. 85 if I should pay your worship those again. Perchance you will not bear them patiently. Aunt, S thy mistress marks, what mistress slave hast thou? Chapter 500, Row, your worship S wife my mistress at the Phoenix. She that doth fast till you come home to dinner. 90 and prays that you will hie you home to dinner. Aunt, S what wilt thou flout me thus unto my face? Being forbid, there take you that sir knave. Chapter 500, Row, what mean you, sir? For God's sake hold your hands. Nay, and you will not, sir, I'll take my heels, exit. 95 Aunt, S upon my life by some device or other. The villain is overwrought of all my money. They say this town is full of cousinage. As, nimble jugglers that deceive the eye. Chapter 500, Arc-working sorcerers that change the soul-killing witches that deform the body. Chapter 501, Esguised cheaters prating mountebanks. And many such like liberties of sin. Chapter 1, If it prove so, I will be gone the sooner. Chapter 1, to the centaur to go seek this slave. 105 I greatly fear my money is not safe, exit. Act 2. Chapter 2, One scene I the house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Adriana and Luciana. Adder, neither my husband nor the slave returned. That in such haste I sent to seek his master. Sure, Luciana, it is 2 o'clock. Chapter 50, perhaps some merchant hath invited him. 5 And from the mart he's somewhere gone to dinner. Good sister, let us dine and never fret. A man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come, if so be patient sister. 10 Adder, why should their liberty than ours be more? Chapter 50, because their business still lies out o door. Adder, look when I serve him so, he takes it ill. Chapter 50, oh no he is the bridle of your will. Adder, there's none but asses will be bridled so. 15 Luke, why headstrong liberty is lashed with woe. There's nothing situate under heaven's eye, but hath his bound in earth, in sea, in sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their males, subjects, and at their controls. 20 men, more divine, the masters of all these. Chapter 50, Ords of the wide world and wild watery seas. Chapter 1, Endued with intellectual sense and souls. Of more preeminence than fish and fowls. Are masters to their females and their lords. 25 Then let your will attend on their accords. Adder, this servitude makes you to keep unwed. Chapter 50, not this but troubles of the marriage bed. Adder, but were you wedded, you would bear some sway. Chapter 50, ere I learn love I'll practice to obey. 30 Adder, how if your husband start some other where? Chapter 50, till he come home again I would forbear. Adder, patience unmoved, no marvel though she pause. They can be meek that have no other cause. A wretched soul, bruised with adversity. 35 We bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But were we burdened with like weight of pain, as much or more we should ourselves complain. So thou that hast no unkind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience wouldst relieve me. 40 But, if thou live to see like right bereft, this fool-begged patience in thee will be left. Chapter 50, well I will marry one day but to try. Here comes your man, now is your husband nigh. Enter Dromio of Ephesus. Adder, say, is your tardy master now at hand? 45 Dro, Ine he's at two hands with me, and that my two ears can witness. Adder, say, didst thou speak with him, know'st thou his mind? Chapter 500, Ro, ei, he told his mind upon mine ear. Beshrew his hand, I scarce could understand it. 50 Luke, spake he so doubtfully, thou couldst not feel his meaning. Chapter 500, Ro, Ine he struck so plainly, I could too well feel his blows, and withal so doubtfully that I could scarce understand the adder. But say, I prithee, is he coming home? Chapter 1, T seems he hath great care to please his wife. Chapter 500, Ro, ey mistress sure my master is horn-mad. Adder, horn-mad thou villain. Chapter 500, Ro, e. Chapter 1, mean not cuckold mad. But sure, he is stark, ma when I desired him to come home to dinner. He asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. "'Tis dinner time," quoth I, "my gold," quoth he. "Your meat doth burn," quoth I, "my gold," quoth he. "Will you come home?" quoth I, "my gold," quoth he. 65, where is the 1,000 marks I gave thee, villain? "The pigs," quoth I, "is burned, my gold," quoth he. "My mistress, sir," quoth I, "hang up thy mistress." Chapter 1, know not thy mistress, out on thy mistress. Chapter 50, quoth who. 70 Dro, quoth my master. "I know," quoth he, "no house, no wife, no mistress. So that my errand do unto my tongue." Chapter 1, thank him, I bear home upon my shoulders. For, in conclusion, he did beat me there. 75 Adder, go back again, thou slave, and fetch him home. Chapter 500, Ro, go back again and be new beaten home. For God's sake, send some other messenger. Adder, back slave, or I will break thy pate across. Chapter 500, Ro, and he will bless that cross with other beating. 80 between you, I shall have a holy head. Adder, hence, prating peasant, fetch thy master home. Chapter 500, Ro, am I so round with you as you with me? That like a football you do spurn me thus. You spurn me hence, and he will spurn me hither. 85 If I last in the service, you must case me in leather. Exit. Chapter 50, fie, how impatience lowereth in your face. Adder, his company must do his minions grace. Whilst I at home starve for a merry look. Hath homely age the alluring beauty took. 90 from my poor cheek, then he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull, barren my wit? Chapter 1, voluble and sharp discourse be marred. Unkindness blunts it more than marble hard. Chapter 500, their gay vestments his affections bait. 95 That's not my fault, he's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found? By him not ruined, then is he the ground. Of my defeatures, my decayed fair. A sunny look of his would soon repair. 100 But too unruly dear, he breaks the pale. And feeds from home, poor I am but his stale. Chapter 50, self-harming jealousy, beat it hence. Adder, unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. Chapter 1, know his eye doth homage otherwhere. 105, or else what lets it but he would be here. Sister, you know he promised me a chain. Would that alone he would detain. So he would keep fair quarter with his bed. Chapter 1, see the jewel best in a mel will lose his beauty, yet the gold bides still. That others touch and often touching will. Wear gold, and no man that hath a name. By falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye. 115 I'll weep what's left away, and weeping die. Chapter 50, how many fond fools serve mad jealousy. Exeunt. Chapter 2, scene II, a public place. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse. The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up. Safe at the centaur, and the heedful slave. Chapter 1 S wandered forth in care to seek me out. By computation and mine host's report. 5 I could not speak with Dromio since at first. Chapter 1 Sent him from the mart, see here he comes. Enter Dromio of Syracuse. How now, sir, is your merry humor? As you love strokes, so jest with me again. You know no centaur, you received no gold. 10 Your mistress sent to have me home to dinner. Chapter 1000 Why house was at the Phoenix, wast thou mad? That thus so madly thou didst answer me. Chapter 500 Row S what answer, sir, when spake I such a word? Ant S even now, even here, not half an hour since. 15 Dro S I did not see you since you sent me hence. Home to the centaur, with the gold you gave me. Ant S villain, thou didst deny the gold's receipt. And toldst me of a mistress and a dinner. For which, I hope, thou feltst I was displeased Dro. S I am glad to see you in this merry vein. What means this jest, I pray you master tell me. Ant S yea, dost thou jeer and flout me in the teeth? Think'st thou I jest? Hold take thou that and that, beating him. Chapter 500 Row S hold sir for God's sake, now your jest is earnest. 25 Upon what bargain do you give it me? Ant S because that I familiarly sometimes. Chapter 500 O use you for my fool and chat with you. Your sauciness will jest upon my love. And make a common of my serious hours. 30 When the sun shines let foolish gnats make sport. But creep in crannies when he hides his beams. Chapter 1 If you will jest with me know my aspect. And fashion your demeanor to my looks. Or I will beat this method in your sconce. 35 Dro S sconce call you it? So you would leave battering I had rather have it ahead. And you use these blows long, I must get a sconce for my head and ensconce it too, or else I shall seek my wit in my shoulders. But I pray sir, why am I beaten? 40 Ant S dost thou not know? Chapter 500 Row S nothing sir but that I am beaten. Ant S shall I tell you why? Chapter 500 Row S I sir and wherefore, for they say every why hath a wherefore. 45 Ant S why first for flouting me, and then wherefore? For urging it the second time to me. Chapter 500 Row S was there ever any man thus beaten out of season? When in the why and the wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason. Well sir, I thank you. 50 Ant S thank me sir for what? Chapter 500 Row S marry sir for this something that you gave me for nothing. Ant S I'll make you amends next to give you nothing for something, but say sir, is it dinner time? 55 Dro S no sir, I think the meat wants that I have. Ant S in good time sir what's that? Chapter 500 Row S basting. Ant S well sir then 'twill be dry. Chapter 500 Row S if it be sir I pray you eat none of it. 60 Ant S your reason. Chapter 500 Row S lest it make you choleric and purchase me another dry basting. Ant S well sir, learn to jest in good time, there's a time for all things. 65 Dro S I durst have denied that before you were so choleric. Ant S by what rule sir? Chapter 500 Row S marry sir by a rule as plain as the plain bald pate of Father Time himself. 70 Ant S let's hear it. Chapter 500 Row S there's no time for a man to recover his hair that grows bald by nature. Ant S may he not do it by fine and recovery. Chapter 500 Row S yes to pay a fine for a periwig and recover 75 the lost hair of another man. Ant S why is time such a niggard of hair, being, as it is, so plentiful in excrement? Chapter 500 Row S because it is a blessing that he bestows on beasts, and what he hath scanted men in hair, he hath 80 given them in wit. Ant S why, but there's many a man hath more hair than wit. Chapter 500 Row S not a man of those but he hath the wit to lose his hair. 85 Ant Sy, thou didst conclude hairy men plain dealers without wit. Chapter 500. Ro, the plainer dealer the sooner lost, yet he loseth it in a kind of jollity. And for what reason? 90 Dro, for two, and sound ones too. And nay not sound I pray you. Chapter 500. Ro, sure ones then. And nay not sure in a thing falsing. Chapter 500. Ro, certain ones then. 95 Ant name them. Chapter 500. Ro, the one to save the money that he spends in trimming, the other that at dinner they should not drop in his porridge. Ant you would all this time have proved there is 100 no time for all things. Chapter 500. Ro, marry and did sir, namely no time to recover hair lost by nature. Ant but your reason was not substantial, why there is no time to recover. 105 Dro, thus I mend it, time himself is bald, and therefore to the world's end will have bald followers. Ant I knew 'twould be a bald conclusion. But soft, who wafts us yonder? Enter Adriana and Luciana. Adder, Antipholus look strange and frown. 110 Some other mistress hath thy sweet aspects. Chapter 1. Am not Adriana nor thy wife. The time was once when thou unurged wouldst vow that never words were music to thine ear, that never object pleasing in thine eye. 115 That never touch well welcome to thy hand, that never meat sweet savored in thy taste, unless I spake, or looked, or touched, or carved to thee. How comes it now, my husband, oh how comes it, that thou art then estranged from thyself? 120 Thyself I call it, being strange to me. That, undividable, incorporate, am better than thy dear self's better part. Ah, do not tear away thyself from me. For no, my love, as easy mayst thou fall a drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingled thence that drop again, without addition or diminishing, as take from me thyself and not me too. How dearly would it touch thee to the quick? 130 Shouldst thou, but here I were licentious, and that this body, consecrate to thee, by ruffian lust should be contaminate, wouldst thou not spit at me and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face? 135 And tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and from my false hand cut the wedding ring, and break it with a deep divorcing vow. Chapter 1. Know thou canst, and therefore see thou do it. Chapter 1. Am possessed with an adulterate blot. 140 My blood is mingled with the crime of lust. For if we two be one, and thou play false. Chapter 1. Do digest the poison of thy flesh, being strumpeted by thy contagion. Keep then fair league and truce with thy true bed. 145 I live disdained, thou undishonored. Ant plead you to me, fair dame, I know you not. Chapter 1. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, as strange unto your town as to your talk, who, every word by all my wit being scanned. 150 Wants wit in all one word to understand. Chapter 50. Fie brother, how the world is changed with you. When were you wont to use my sister thus? She sent for you by Dromio home to dinner. Ant by Dromio. 155 Dro, by me. Adder by thee, and this thou didst return from him, that he did buffet thee, and in his blows. Chapter 500. Enide my house for his, me for his wife. Ant did you converse, sir, with this gentlewoman? 160 What is the course and drift of your compact? Chapter 500. Ro, sir, I never saw her till this time. Ant villain thou least, for even her very words. Chapter 999. Sint thou deliver to me on the mart. Chapter 500. Ro, I never spake with her in all my life. 165 Ant. S. How can she thus then call us by our names? Unless it be by inspiration. Adder, how ill agrees it with your gravity. To counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abetting him to thwart me in my mood. 170. Be it my wrong you are from me exempt. But wrong not that wrong with a more contempt. Chapter 100. I will fasten on this sleeve of thine. Thou art an elm, my husband I avine, whose weakness, married to thy stronger state, 175 makes me with thy strength to communicate. Chapter 1. If aught possess thee from me, it is dross. Usurping ivy, briar, or idle moss. Who, all for want of pruning, with intrusion. Chapter 1. Infect thy sap and live on thy confusion. 180 Ant, as to me she speaks, she moves me for her theme. What, was I married to her in my dream? Or sleep I now, and think I hear all this? What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty. 185, I'll entertain the offered fallacy. Chapter 50, Dromio, go bid the servants spread for dinner. Chapter 500, So for my beads I cross me for a sinner. This is the fairyland, O spite of spites. We talk with goblins, owls, and sprites. 190, if we obey them not, this will ensue. They'll suck our breath, or pinch us black and blue. Chapter 50, why pratest thou to thyself and answerst thee not? Chapter 500, Romeo, thou drone, thou snail, thou slug, thou sot. Chapter 500, I am transformed, master, am I not? 195 Ant, I think thou art in mind, and so am I. Chapter 500, nay, master, both in mind and in my shape. Ant, thou hast thine own form. Chapter 500, S. No, I am an ape. Chapter 50, if thou art chained to aught, tease to an ass. Chapter 500, tease true, she rides me and I long for grass. 200 tease so, I am an ass, else it could never be. But I should know her as well as she knows me. Adder, come, no longer will I be a fool. To put the finger in the eye and weep. Whilst man and master laughs my woes to scorn. 205 Come, sir, to dinner, Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with you today. And shrive you of 1,000 idle pranks. Sirrah, if any ask you for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. 210 Come, sister, Dromio, play the porter well. Ant, am I in earth, in heaven, or in hell? Sleeping or waking, mad or well advised? Known unto these, and to myself disguised. Chapter 1, I'll say as they say and persevere so. 215, and in this mist at all adventures go. Chapter 500, master, shall I be porter at the gate? Adder, I, and let none enter, lest I break your pate. Chapter 50, come, Antipholus, we dine too late. Exeunt. Act 3. Chapter 3, one scene I before the house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus, Dromio of Ephesus, Angelo, and Balthazar. Ant, good Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. Chapter 1000, why wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop. To see the making of her carcanet. 5 And that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down. He met me on the mart, and that I beat him. And charged him with 1,000 marks in gold. And that I did deny my wife and house. 10 Thou drunkard thou, what didst thou mean by this? Chapter 500, say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. That you beat me at the mart, I have your hand to show. Chapter 1, the skin were parchment, and the blows you gave were ink. Your own handwriting would tell you what I think. Ant, I think thou art an ass. 15 Dro, Chapter 1000, Arise so it doth appear. By the wrongs I suffer, and the blows I bear. Chapter 1, Should kick being kicked, and being at that pass. You would keep from my heels, and beware of an ass. Your sad Signor Balthazar, pray God our cheer. 20 may answer my goodwill, and your good welcome here. Bal, I hold your dainties cheap, sir, and your welcome dear. Signor Balthazar, either at flesh or fish. A table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish. Bal, good meat, sir, is common, that every churl affords. 25 and welcome more common, for that's nothing but words. Bal, small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. I to a niggardly host and more sparing guest. But though my cates be mean, take them in good part. Better cheer may you have, but not with better heart. 30 But soft, my door is locked, go bid them let us in. Chapter 500, Row, Maud, Bridget, Marian, Cicely, Gillian, Gin. Chapter 500, Row, Mome, Malthorse, Capon, Coxcomb, Idiot, Patch. Either get thee from the door, or sit down at the hatch. Chapter 500, Os thou conjure for wenches that thou calls thee for such store. 35 When one is one too many, go get thee from the door. Chapter 500, Row, what patches made our porter, my master stays in the street. Chapter 500, Row, let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch cold on's feet. Who talks within there, ho, open the door. Chapter 500, Row, right, sir, I'll tell you when and you'll tell me wherefore. 40 Wherefore, for my dinner I have not dined today. Chapter 500, Row, nor today here you must not, come again when you may. What art thou that keepest me out from the house I owe? Chapter 500, Row, the porter for this time, sir, and my name is Dromio. Chapter 500, Row, O villain, thou hast stolen both mine office and my name. 45 The one ne'er got me credit, the other mickle blame. Chapter 1, thou hadst been Dromio today in my place. Thou wouldst have changed thy face for a name, or thy name for an ass. Chapter 50, Use, what a coil is there, Dromio, who are those at the gate? Chapter 500, Row, let my master in loose. Chapter 50, Use. Faith no, he comes too late. And so tell your master. 50 Dro, O Lord, I must laugh. Have at you with a proverb, shall I set in my staff? Chapter 50, Use, have at you with another, that's when, can you tell? Chapter 500, Row, if thy name be called Loose, Loose, thou hast answered him well. Do you hear, you minion? You'll let us in, I hope. Chapter 50, Use, I thought to have asked you. 55 Dro, S. And you said no. Chapter 500, Row, so come help, well struck, there was blow for blow. Thou baggage, let me in. Chapter 50, Use. Can you tell for whose sake? Chapter 500, Row, master, knock the door hard. Chapter 50, Use. Let him knock till it ache. You'll cry for this, minion, if I beat the door down. 60 Loose, what needs all that, and a pair of stocks in the town? Adder, who is that at the door that keeps all this noise? Chapter 500, Row, by my troth, your town is troubled with unruly boys. Are you there, wife? You might have come before. Adder, your wife, sir knave, go get you from the door. 65 Dro, if you went in pain, master, this knave would go sore. Og, here is neither cheer, sir, nor welcome, we would fain have either. Bal, in debating which was best, we shall part with neither. Chapter 500, Row, they stand at the door, master, bid them welcome hither. There is something in the wind, that we cannot get in. 70 Dro, you would say so, master, if your garments were thin. Your cake here is warm within, you stand here in the cold. Chapter 1, tea would make a man mad as a buck, to be so bought and sold. Go fetch me something, I'll break ope the gate. Chapter 500. Row, break any breaking here and I'll break your knave's pate. 75 Dro, a man may break a word with you, sir, and words are but wind. I, and break it in your face, so he break it not behind. Chapter 500. Row, it seems thou want'st breaking, out upon thee hind. Chapter 500. Row, here's too much out upon thee, I pray thee let me in. Chapter 500. Row, when fowls have no feathers and fish have no fin. 80 Ant, well I'll break in, go borrow me a crow. Chapter 500. Row, a crow without feather, master mean you so? For a fish without a fin, there's a fowl without a feather. Chapter 1. If a crow help us in, Syrah, we'll pluck a crow together. Ant, go get thee gone, fetch me an iron crow. 85 Bal, have patience, sir, oh let it not be so. Herein you war against your reputation. And draw within the compass of suspect. Unviolated honor of your wife. Once this, your long experience of her wisdom. 90 Her sober virtue, years and modesty. Plead on her part some cause to you unknown. And doubt not, sir, but she will well excuse. Why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me, depart in patience. 95 And let us to the tiger all to dinner. And about evening come yourself alone. To know the reason of this strange restraint. Chapter 1. By strong hand you offer to break in. Now in the stirring passage of the day. 100 A vulgar comment will be made of it. And that supposed by the common route. Against your yet ungalled estimation. That may with foul intrusion enter in. And dwell upon your grave when you are dead. 105 For slander lives upon succession. Forever housed where it gets possession. Ant, you have prevailed, I will depart in quiet. And, in despite of mirth, mean to be merry. Chapter 1. Know a wench of excellent discourse. 110 Pretty and witty, wild and yet too gentle. There will we dine, this woman that I mean. Chapter 1000. Why wife, but I protest without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we to dinner, get you home. 115 And fetch the chain, by this I know tea's made. Bring it, I pray you, to the porpentine. For there's the house, that chain will I bestow. Be it for nothing but to spite my wife. Upon mine hostess there, good sir make haste. 120 Since mine own doors refuse to entertain me. Chapter 1. I'll knock elsewhere to see if they'll disdain me. I'll meet you at that place some hour hence. Ant, do so, this jest shall cost me some expense. Exeunt. Chapter 3. Two scene II, the same. Enter Luciana and Antipholus of Syracuse. Chapter 50. And may it be that you have quite forgot. A husband's office shall, Antipholus, even in the spring of love thy love springs rot. Shall love, in building, grow so ruinous? 5 If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake use her with more kindness. Or if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Chapter 1000. Uffle your false love with some show of blindness. Chapter 50. Et not my sister read it in your eye. 10 Be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Chapter 50. Sweet, speak fair, become disloyalty. Apparel vice like virtue's harbinger. Bear a fair presence, though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. 15 Be secret false, what need she be acquainted? What simple thief brags of his own attaint? Tease double wrong to truant with your bed. And let her read it in thy looks at board. Shame hath a bastard fame, well managed. 20 Ill deeds are doubled with an evil word. Alas, poor women, make us but believe, being compact of credit, that you love us. Though others have the arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move us. 25 Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Chapter 100. Omfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. Tease holy sport to be a little vain. When the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife. Aunt S. Sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not. 30 Nor by what wonder you do hit of mine. Chapter 50. S in your knowledge and your grace you show not. Then our earth's wonder, more than earth divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Chapter 50. I open to my earthy gross conceit. 35 Smothered in errors, feeble, shallow, weak. The folded meaning of your words deceit. Against my soul's pure truth why labor you? To make it wander in an unknown field. Are you a god, would you create me new? 40 Transform me then, and to your power I'll yield. But if that I am I, then well I know. Your weeping sister is no wife of mine. Nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you do I decline. 45 Oh, train me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note. To drown me in thy sister flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote. Spread o'er the silver waves thy golden hairs. And as a bed I'll take them, and there lie. 50 And, in that glorious supposition, think. He gains by death that hath such means to die. Chapter 50. Et love being light be drowned if she sink. Chapter 50. What are you mad that you do reason so? Aunt S not mad but mated, how I do not know. 55 Luke, it is a fault that springeth from your eye. Aunt S for gazing on your beams, fair sun being by. Chapter 50. Gaze where you should and that will clear your sight. Aunt S as good to wink, sweet love as look on night. Chapter 50. Why call you me love, call my sister so. Aunt S thy sister's sister. Chapter 50. That's my sister. 60 Aunt S. No. Chapter 1. T is thyself, mine own self's better part. Chapter 1001. Knee eyes clear eye, my dear heart's dearer heart. Chapter 1000. Why food, my fortune, and my sweet hope's aim. Chapter 1000. Why soul earth's heaven and my heaven's claw Luke, all this my sister is or else should be. Aunt S call thyself sister, sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and with thee lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand. Chapter 50. Oh, soft sir, hold you still. 70 I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill. Exit. Enter Dromio of Syracuse. Aunt S.Y. How now, Dromio, where runst thou so fast? Chapter 500. Ro, do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself? 75 Aunt. S. Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself. Chapter 500. Ro, S. I am an ass, I am a woman's man, and besides myself. Aunt S. What woman's man, and how besides thyself? 80 Dro, S. Marry, sir, besides myself I am due to a woman, one that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me. Aunt S. What claim lays she to thee? Chapter 500. Ro, S. Marry, sir, such claim as you would lay to 85 your horse, and she would have me as a beast, not that, I being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me. Aunt S. What is she? Chapter 500. Ro, S. A very reverent body. I, such a one as a man 90 may not speak of, without he say sir reverence. I have 428 but lean luck in the match, and yet is she a wondrous fat marriage. Aunt S. How dost thou mean a fat marriage? Chapter 500. Ro, S. Marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench and agrease, and I know not what use to put her to, but to make a lamp of her, and run from her by her own light. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter. If she lives till doomsday, she'll burn a week longer than the whole were. Aunt S. What complexion is she of? Chapter 500. Ro, S. Swart like my shoe, but her face nothing like so clean kept, for why she sweats, a man may go over shoes in the grime of it. Aunt S. That's a fault that water will mend dro. No sir, teas in grain, Noah's flood could not do it. Aunt what's her name? Chapter 500. Row, Nell sir, but her name and 3/4, that's an L and 3/4, will not measure her fro hip to hip. Aunt then she bears some breadth. Chapter 500. Row, no longer from head to foot than from hip to hip, she is spherical like a globe, I could find out countries in her. 115 Aunt, in what part of her body stands Ireland? Chapter 500. Row, Mary sir in her buttocks, I found it out by the bogs. Aunt where Scotland? Chapter 500. Row, I found it by the barrenness, hard in the pouf the hand. Aunt where France? Chapter 500. Row, in her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her heir. Aunt where England? 125 Dro. I looked for the chalky cliffs, but I could find no whiteness in them, but I guess it stood in her chin, by the salt room that ran between France and it. Aunt where Spain? Chapter 500. Row, faith I saw it not, but I felt it hot in her 130 breath. Aunt where America the Indies? Chapter 500. Row, sir upon her nose, all o'er embellished with rubies, carbuncles, sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armados 135 of carracks to be ballast at her nose. Aunt where stood Belgia the Netherlands? Chapter 500. Row, sir I did not look so low. To conclude, this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy 140 marks I had about me, as the mark of my shoulder, the mole in my neck, the great wart on my left arm, that I amazed, ran from her as a witch. And I think, if my breast had not been made of faith, and my heart of steel, she had transformed me to a curtal dog, and made me turn I the wee ant. Go hie thee presently, post to the road. And if the wind blow any way from shore. Chapter 1. Will not harbor in this town tonight. Chapter 1. If any bark put forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. 150 If everyone knows us, and we know none. 'Tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and be gone. Chapter 500. Row, as from a bear a man would run for life. So fly I from her that would be my wife, exit. Aunt, there's none but witches do inhabit here. 155 And therefore, 'tis high time that I were hence. She that doth call me husband, even my soul. Chapter 500. Oth for a wife abhor, but her fair sister. Possessed with such a gentle sovereign grace. Of such enchanting presence and discourse. 160 Hath almost made me traitor to myself. But lest myself be guilty to self-wrong. Chapter 1. I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song. Enter Angelo with the chain. Master Antipholus. Nant I, that's my name. I know it well, sir. Lo, here is the chain. 165 I thought to have ta'en you at the Porpentine. The chain, unfinished, made me stay thus long. Aunt what is your will that I shall do with this? What please yourself, sir, I have made it for you. Aunt made it for me, sir, I bespoke it not. 170 Not once nor twice but 20 times you have. Go home with it, and please your wife withal. And soon at supper time I'll visit you. And then receive my money for the chain. Aunt I pray you, sir, receive the money now. 175 For fear you ne'er see chain, nor money more. You are a merry man, sir, fare you well, exit. Aunt what I should think of this I cannot tell. But this I think, there's no man is so vain that would refuse so fair an offered chain. 180 I see, a man here needs not live by shifts. When in the streets he meets such golden gifts. Chapter 1. I'll to the mart, and there for Dromio stay. Chapter 1. If any ship put out then straight away, exit. Act 4. Chapter 4. One scene I a public place. Enter second merchant, Angelo, and an officer. Sec mer, since Pentecost the sum is due. And since I have not much importuned you, nor now I had not but that I am bound to Persia, and want guilders for my voyage. 5 therefore make present satisfaction, or I'll attach you by this officer. Even just the sum that I do owe to you. Chapter 1, S growing to me by Antipholus. And in the instant that I met with you, 10 he had of me a chain, at 5 o'clock. Chapter 1, shall receive the money for the same. Pleaseth you walk with me down to his house. Chapter 1, will discharge my bond and thank you too. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus, and Dromio of Ephesus from the courtesans. Off, that labor may you save, see where he comes. 15 while I go to the goldsmith's house go thou. And buy a rope's end, that will I bestow among my wife and her confederates, for locking me out of my doors by day. But soft I see the goldsmith, get thee gone. 20 buy thou a rope, and bring it home to me. Chapter 500, Row, I buy £1,000 a year, I buy a rope, exit. A man is well holp up that trusts to you. Chapter 1, promised your presence and the chain. But neither chain nor goldsmith came to me. 25 belike, you thought our love would last too long. Chapter 1, if it were chained together and therefore came not. Saving your merry humor, here's the note. How much your chain weighs to the utmost carat. The fineness of the gold, and chargeful fashion. 30 which doth amount to 3 odd ducats more. Then I stand debted to this gentleman. Chapter 1, pray you, see him presently discharged. For he is bound to see, and stays but for it. I am not furnished with the present money. 35 besides, I have some business in the town. Good Signor, take the stranger to my house. And with you take the chain, and bid my wife. Chapter 501, burst the sum on the receipt thereof. Perchance I will be there as soon as you. 40 then you will bring the chain to her yourself. No, bear it with you, lest I come not time enough. Well sir I will, have you the chain about you? And if I have not sir, I hope you have. Or else you may return without your money. 45 nay come I pray you sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stays for this gentleman. And I, to blame, have held him here too long. Good lord, you use this dalliance to excuse your breach of promise to the porpentine. 50 I should have chid you for not bringing it. But like a shrew, you first begin to brawl. Secmer, the hour steals on, I pray you sir dispatch. You hear how he importunes me, the chain. Give it to my wife and fetch your money. 55 come, you know I gave it you even now. Either send the chain, or send me by some token. Now you run this humor out of breath. Chapter 100, where's the chain? I pray you let me see it. Secmer, my business cannot brook this dalliance. 60 good sir, say whether you'll answer me or no. Chapter 1, if not, I'll leave him to the officer. I answer you, what should I answer you? The money that you owe me for the chain. I owe you none till I receive the chain. 65 you know I gave it you half an hour since. You gave me none, you wrong me much to say so. You wrong me more sir in denying it. Chapter 100, Onsider how it stands upon my credit. Secmer, well officer, arrest him at my suit. 70 off, I do, and charge you in the Duke's name to obey me. This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay this sum for me, or I attach you by this officer. Consent to pay thee that I never had. 75 arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest. Here is thy fee, arrest him, officer. Chapter 1 would not spare my brother in this case. Chapter 1 Effie should scorn me so apparently. Off, I do arrest you, sir, you hear the suit. 80 Ant, I do obey thee till I give thee bail. But sirrah, you shall buy this sport as dear as all the metal in your shop will answer. Ang, sir, I shall have law in Ephesus. To your notorious shame, I doubt it not. Enter Dromio of Syracuse from the bay. 85 Dro, master, there is a bark of Epidamnu. That stays but till her owner comes aboard. And then, sir, she bears away, our fraughtage, sir. Chapter 1 Have conveyed aboard, and I have bought the oil, the balsamum, and aquavit. 90 The ship is in her trim, the merry wind blows fair from land, they stay for naught at all. But for their owner, master, and yourself. Ant, how now, a madman, why thou peevish sheep? What ship of Epidamnum stays for me? 95 Dro, a ship you sent me to hire waftage. Ant, thou drunken slave, I sent thee for a rope. And told thee to what purpose and what end. Chapter 500, Ro, you sent me for a rope's end as soon. You sent me to the bay, sir, for a bark. 100 Ant, I will debate this matter at more leisure. And teach your ears to list me with more heed. To Adriana, villain, hie thee straight. Give her this key, and tell her in the desk. That's covered o'er with Turkish tapestry. 105 There is a purse of ducats, let her send it. Tell her I am arrested in the street. And that shall bail me, hide thee slave, be gone. On, officer, to prison till it come. Exeunt sec, merchant and gelo officer and Ant, e. Chapter 500, Ro, to Adriana, that is where we dined. 110, where Dowsable did claim me for her husband. She is too big, I hope, for me to compass. Thither I must, although against my will. For servants must their masters' minds fulfill. Exit. Chapter 4 2 Scene II, the house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Adriana and Luciana. Adder, Luciana, did he tempt thee so? Chapter 1001, GHTSD thou perceive austerely in his eye. That he did plead in earnest, yea or no. Chapter 50, Ukt he or red or pale or sad or merrily. 5 What observation madest thou, in this case? Of his heart's meteors tilting in his face. Chapter 50, first he denied you had in him no right. Adder, he meant he did me none, the more my spite. Chapter 50, then swore he that he was a stranger here. 10 Adder, and true he swore, though yet forsworn he were. Chapter 50, then pleaded I for you. Adder. And what said he? Chapter 50, that love I begged for you he begged of me. Adder, with what persuasion did he tempt thy love? Chapter 50, with words that in an honest suit might move. 15 First he did praise my beauty, then my speech. Adder did speak him fair. Chapter 50, have patience, I beseech. Adder, I cannot, nor I will not hold me still. Chapter 1000, why tongue, though not my heart, shall have his will. He is deformed, crooked, old, and sere. 20 Ill-faced, worse-bodied, shapeless everywhere. Chapter 105, O's, ungentle, foolish, blunt, unkind. Stigmatical in making, worse in mind. Chapter 50, who would be jealous then of such a one? No evil lost is wailed when it is gone. 25 Adder, but I think him better than I say. And yet would herein others' eyes were worse. Far from her nest the lapwing cries away. Chapter 1000, why heart prays for him though my tongue do curse. Enter Dromio of Syracuse. Chapter 500, Row S here, go the desk the purse, sweet now make haste. Chapter 50, how hast thou lost thy breath? 30 Dro S. By running fast. Adder, where is thy master, Dromio, is he well? Chapter 500, Row, no, he's in Tartar limbo worse than hell. A devil in an everlasting garment hath him. One whose hard heart is buttoned up with steel. 35 A fiend, a fury, pitiless and rough. A wolf, nay worse, a fellow all in buff. A back friend, a shoulder clapper, one that countermands the passages of alleys, creeks, and narrow lands. A hound that runs counter, and yet draws dry foot well. 41 That, before the judgment, carries poor souls to hell. Adder, why man, what is the matter? Chapter 500, Row, I do not know the matter, he is rested on the case. Adder, what is he arrested, tell me at whose suit. Chapter 500, Row, I know not at whose suit he is arrested well. 45 But he's in a suit of buff which, rested him, that can I tell. Will you send him, mistress, redemption, the money in his desk? Adder, go fetch it, sister, this I wonder at. That he, unknown to me, should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a band? 50 Dro, not on a band, but on a stronger thing. A chain, do you not hear it ring? Adder, what the chain? Chapter 500, Row, no the bell, 'tis time that I were gone. Chapter 1, T was 2 ere I left him, and now the clock strikes 1. 55 Adder, the hours come back, that did I never hear. Chapter 500, Row, yes, if any hour meet a sergeant, a turns back for very fear. Adder, as if time were in debt, how fondly dost thou reason. Chapter 500, Row, time is a very bankrupt and owes more than he's worth to season. Nay, he's a thief too, have you not heard men say? 60 That time comes stealing on by night and day. Chapter 1, time be in debt and theft, and a sergeant in the way. Hath he not reason to turn back an hour in a day? Re-enter Luciana with a purse. Adder, go Dromio, there's the money, bear it straight. And bring thy master home immediately. 65 Come, sister, I am pressed down with conceit. Chapter 100, On seat, my comfort and my injury. Exeunt. Chapter 4, 3 Scene III, a public place. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse. There's not a man I meet but doth salute me, as if I were their well-acquainted friend. And every one doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me. 5 Some other give me thanks for kindnesses. Some offer me commodities to buy. Even now a tailor called me in his shop, and showed me silks that he had bought for me, and therewithal took measure of my body. 10 Sure, these are but imaginary wiles, and Lapland sorcerers inhabit here. Enter Dromio of Syracuse. Chapter 500, Row, master, here's the gold you sent me for. What, have you got the picture of old Adam new apparelled? What gold is this, what Adam dost thou mean? 15 Dro, not that Adam that kept the paradise, but that Adam that keeps the prison. He that goes in the calf's skin that was killed for the prodigal. He that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel, and bid you forsake your liberty. I understand thee not. 20 Dro, no? Why, 'tis a plain case. He that went like a base vial in a case of leather. The man, sir, that, when gentlemen are tired, gives them a sob and rests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest to do more exploits with 25 his mace than a morris pike. What thou meanest an officer. Chapter 500, Row, sir, the sergeant of the band, he that brings any man to answer it that breaks his band, one that thinks a man always going to bed and says, God give you 30 good rest. Well, sir, there rest in your foolery. Is there any ship puts forth tonight? May we be gone. Chapter 500, Row, sir, I brought you word an hour since that the bark expedition put forth tonight, and then were 35 you hindered by the sergeant, to tarry for the hoy delay. Here are the angels that you sent for to deliver you. The fellow is distract, and so am I. And here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence. Enter a courtesan. 40 cur, well met, Master Antipholus. Chapter 1, See, sir, you have found the goldsmith now. Chapter 1, that the chain you promised me today. Ant as Satan avoid, I charge thee tempt me not. Chapter 500, Row, master is this mistress Satan. 45 Ant, it is the devil. Chapter 500, Row, nay she is worse, she is the devil's dam, and here she comes in the habit of a light wench, and thereof comes that the wenches say, God damn me? That's as much to say, God make me a light wench. It is written, 50 they appear to men like angels of light. Light is an effect of fire, and fire will burn, ergo light wenches will burn, come not near her. Chapter 100, your man and you are marvelous merry, sir. Will you go with me? We'll mend our dinner here. 55 Dro, master if you do expect spoon meat, or bespeak a long spoon. Ant sy Dromio. Chapter 500, Row, Mary he must have a long spoon that must eat with thee to ant. Avoid then, fiend, what tells thee thou me of supping? Thou art, as you are all, a sorceress. Chapter 1, Conjure thee to leave me and be gone. Chapter 100, Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner. Or, for my diamond, the chain you promised. 65 And I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you. Chapter 500, Row, some devils ask but the parings of one's nail. A rush, a hair, a drop of blood, a pin. A nut, a cherry stone. But she, more covetous, would have a chain. 70 Master, be wise, and if you give it her, the devil will shake her chain, and fright us with it. Chapter 100, I pray you, sir, my ring or else the chain. Chapter 1, Hope you do not mean to cheat me so. Ant avant thou witch, come Dromio let us go. 75 Dro, fly pride, says the peacock, mistress that you know. Exion Ant and Dro s. Chapter 100, now out of doubt Antipholus is mad. Else would he never so demean himself. A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats. And for the same he promised me a chain. 80 both one and other he denies me now. The reason that I gather he is mad. Besides this present instance of his rage. Chapter 1, a mad tale he told today at dinner. Of his own doors being shut against his entrance. 85 Belike his wife, acquainted with his fits. On purpose, shut the doors against his way. Chapter 1000, Why way is now to his home to his house. And tell his wife that, being lunatic, he rushed into my house and took perforce 90 my ring away, this course I fittest choose. For 40 ducats is too much to lose, exit. Chapter 4, Scene IV, a street. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus and the officer. Ant, fear me not, man, I will not break away. Chapter 1, I'll give thee, ere I leave thee, so much money. To warrant thee, as I am rested for. Chapter 1000, Why wife is in a wayward mood today. 5 And will not lightly trust the messenger. That I should be attached in Ephesus. Chapter 1, Tell you, 'twill sound harshly in her ears. Enter Dromio of Ephesus with a rope's end. Here comes my man, I think he brings the money. How now, sir, have you that I sent you for? 10 Dro, here, that I warrant you will pay them all. Ant, but where's the money? Chapter 500, Row, why sir I gave the money for the rope. Ant, 500 ducats, villain, for a rope. Chapter 500, Row, I'll serve you, sir, 500 at the rate. 15 Ant, to what end did I bid thee hie thee home? Chapter 500, Row, to a rope's end, sir, and to that end am I returned. Ant, and to that end, sir, I will welcome you, beating him. Off, good sir, be patient. 20 Dro, tis for me to be patient, I am in adversity. Off, good now hold thy tongue. Chapter 500, Row, nay rather persuade him to hold his hands. Ant, thou whoreson, senseless villain. Chapter 500, Row, I would I were senseless, sir, that I might not feel your blows. Ant, thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass. Chapter 500, Row, I am an ass, indeed, you may prove it by my long ears. I have served him from the hour of my nativity 30 to this instant, and have nothing at his hands for my service but blows. When I am cold, he heats me with beating. When I am warm, he cools me with beating. I am waked with it when I sleep, raised with it when I sit, driven out of doors with it when I go from home, welcomed home 35 with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders as a beggar want her brat. And I think, when he hath lamed me, I shall beg with it from door to door. Aunt, come, go along, my wife is coming yonder. Enter Adriana, Luciana, the courtesan, and Pinch. Chapter 500, Row, mistress, respice finum, respect your end, or 40 rather, the prophecy like the parrot, beware the rope's end. Aunt, wilt thou still talk, beating him? Chapter 100, Our how say you now, is not your husband mad? Adder, his incivility confirms no less. Good Dr. Pinch, you are a conjurer. 45, establish him in his true sense again. And I will please you, what you will demand. Chapter 50, alas, how fiery and how sharp he looks. Chapter 100, mark how he trembles in his ecstasy. Pinch, give me your hand, and let me feel your pulse. 50 Ant, there is my hand, and let it feel your ear, striking him. Pinch, I charge thee, Satan, housed within this man, to yield possession to my holy prayers, and to thy state of darkness his thee straight. Chapter 1, Conjure thee by all the saints in heaven. 55 Ant, peace, doting wizard peace, I am not mad. Adder, oh that thou wert not, poor distressed soul. Ant, you minion, you, are these your customers? Chapter 999, This companion with the saffron face. Revel and feast it at my house today. 60 Whilst upon me, the guilty doors were shut, and I denied to enter in my house. Adder, O husband, God doth know you dined at home. Where would you had remained until this time? Free from these slanders and this open shame. 65 Ant, dined at home, thou villain, what sayest thou? Chapter 500, Row, sir, sooth to say, you did not dine at home. Ant, were not my doors locked up and I shut out? Chapter 500, Row, purdy, your doors were locked and you shut out. Ant, and did not she herself revile me there? 70 Drow, sans fable, she herself reviled you there. Ant, did not her kitchen maid rail, taunt and scorn me? Chapter 500, Row, certes she did, the kitchen vestal scorned you. Ant, and did not I enraged depart from thence? Chapter 500, Row, in verity you did, my bones bear witness. 75 That since have felt the vigor of his rage. Adder, is't good to soothe him in these contraries? Pinch, it is no shame, the fellow finds his vein, and, yielding to him, humors well his frenzy. Ant, thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me. 80 Adder, alas, I sent you money to redeem you. By Dromio here, who came in haste for it. Chapter 500, Row, money by me, heart and good will you might. But surely, master, not a rag of money. Ant, went'st not thou to her for a purse of ducats? 85 Adder, he came to me and I delivered it. Chapter 50, and I am witness with her that she did. Chapter 500, Row, God and the rope maker bear me witness, that I was sent for nothing but a rope. Pinch, mistress, both man and master is possessed. 90 I know it by their pale and deadly looks. They must be bound, and laid in some dark room. Ant, say, wherefore didst them lock me forth today? And why dost thou deny the bag of gold? Adder, I did not, gentle husband, lock thee forth. 95 Drow, and, gentle master, I received no gold. But I confess, sir, that we were locked out. Adder, dissembling villain, them speaks thee false in both. Ant, dissembling harlot, them art false in all. And art confederate with a damned pack. 100 to make a loathsome abject scorn of me. But with these nails I'll pluck out these false eyes. That would behold in me this shameful sport. Enter 3 or 4 and offer to bind him. He strives. Adder, oh, bind him, let him not come near me. Pinch, more company, the fiend is strong with an H. Luke. I me, poor man, how pale and wan he looks. Ant, what will you murder me, thou jailer, thou? Chapter 1, am thy prisoner, wilt thou suffer them? To make a rescue. North. Chapter 1000, Asters, let him go. He is my prisoner, and you shall not have H. 110 Pinch, go bind this man, for he is frantic too. They offer to bind Dro, E. Adder, what wilt thou do, thou peevish officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man? Chapter 500, O outrage and displeasure to himself. Off, he is my prisoner if I let him go. 115, the debt he owes will be required of me. Adder, I will discharge the ere I go from thee. Bear me forthwith unto his creditor. And knowing how the debt grows, I will pay it. Good master doctor, see him safe convey home to my house. O most unhappy day. Ant, o most unhappy strumpet. Chapter 500, Row, master, I am here entered in bond for you. Ant, out on thee, villain, wherefore dost thou mad me? Chapter 500, Row, will you be bound for nothing? Be mad, goomester, cry the devil. Chapter 50, God help poor souls, how idly do they talk. Adder, go bear him hence, sister, go you with me. Exeunt all but Adriana, Luciana, officer and courtesan. Say now, whose suit is he arrested at? Off, one Angelo, a goldsmith, do you know him? 130 Adder, I know the man, what is the sum he owes? Off, 200 ducats. Adder. Say, how grows it due? Off, due for a chain your husband had of him. Adder, he did bespeak a chain for me, but had it not. Chapter 100, Hour, when is your husband all in rage today? 135 came to my house, and took away my ring. The ring I saw upon his finger now. Straight after did I meet him with a chain. Adder, it may be so, but I did never see it. Chapter 100, Jailer, bring me where the goldsmith is. 140, I long to know the truth hereof at large. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse with his rapier drawn, and Dromio of Syracuse. Chapter 50, God, for thy mercy, they are loose again. Adder, and come with naked swords. Chapter 50, Ets call more help to have them bound again. Off, away they'll kill us. Exeunt all but Ant, S and Dro, S. 145 Ant, S I see these witches are afraid of swords. Chapter 500, Row, S she that would be your wife now ran from you. Ant, S come to the centaur, fetch our stuff from thence. Chapter 1, Long that we were safe and sound aboard. Chapter 500, Row, S faith, stay here this night, they will surely do 150 us no harm, you saw they speak us fair, give us gold. Methinks they are such a gentle nation that, but for the mountain of mad flesh that claims marriage of me, I could find in my heart to stay here still and turn witch. Ant, S I will not stay tonight for all the town. 155 therefore away, to get our stuff aboard. Exeunt. Act 5. Chapter 5, One scene I a street before a priory. Enter second merchant and Angelo. Ang, I am sorry, sir, that I have hindered you. But I protest he had the chain of me. Though most dishonestly he doth deny it. Sec mer, how is the man esteemed here in the city? 5 Ang, of very reverent reputation, sir. Of credit infinite, highly beloved. Second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time. Sec mer, speak softly, yonder as I think he walks. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse. Tenang, tease so, and that self-chain about his neck, which he forswore most monstrously to have. Good sir, draw near to me, I'll speak to him. Signor Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to this shame and trouble. 15 And, not without some scandal to yourself, with circumstance and oath so to deny this chain which now you wear so openly. Beside the charge, the shame, imprisonment. You have done wrong to this my honest friend. 20 Who, but for staying on our controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me, can you deny it? I think I had, I never did deny it. Secmer, yes that you did sir and forswore it too. 25 who heard me to deny it or forswear it. Secmer, these ears of mine thou know'st did hear thee. Fie on thee wretch, 'tis pity that thou livest to walk where any honest men resort. Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. 30 I'll prove mine honor and mine honesty against thee presently, if thou darest stand. Secmer, I dare and do defy thee for a villain, they draw. Enter Adriana, Luciana, the courtesan and others. Adder, hold, hurt him not for God's sake, he is mad. Some get within him, take his sword away. 35 Bind Dromio too, and bear them to my house. Chapter 500, Row, run master run, for God's sake take a house. This is some priory, in or we are spoiled. Exion ant, and dro, to the priory. Enter the lady abbess. Abs, be quiet people, wherefore throng you hither? Adder, to fetch my poor distracted husband hence. 40 Let us come in, that we may bind him fast, and bear him home for his recovery. I knew he was not in his perfect wits. Secmer, I am sorry now that I did draw on him. Ab, how long hath this possession held the man? 45 Adder, this week he hath been heavy, sour, sad, and much different from the man he was. But till this afternoon his passion ne'er brake into extremity of rage. Ab, hath he not lost much wealth by wreck of sea? 50 Buried some dear friend, hath not else his eye strayed his affection in unlawful love? A sin prevailing much in youthful men, who give their eyes the liberty of gazing. Which of these sorrows is he subject to? 55 Adder, to none of these except it be the last. Namely, some love that drew him oft from home. Ab, you should for that have reprehended him. Adder, why so I did. Ab, I, but not rough enough. Adder, as roughly as my modesty would let me. Abs, haply in private. 60 Adder, and in assemblies too. Ab, I, but not enough. Adder, it was the copy of our conference. Chapter 1, In bed he slept not for my urging it. At board he fed not for my urging it. 65 Alone, it was the subject of my theme. Chapter 1, In company I often glanced it. Still did I tell him it was vile and bad. Ab, and thereof came it that the man was mad. The venom, clamors of a jealous woman. 70 Poisons more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. Chapter 1, T seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railing. And thereof comes it that his head is light. Thou say'st his meat was sauced with thy upbraidings. Unquiet meals make ill digestions. 75 Thereof the raging fire of fever bred. And what's a fever but a fit of madness? Thou say'st his sports were hindered by thy brawls. Sweet recreation barred, what doth ensue? But moody and dull melancholy. 80 Kinsmen to grim and comfortless despair. And at her heels a huge infectious troop of pale distemperatures and foes to life. Chapter 1, End food in sport and life-preserving rest. To be disturbed would mad or man or beast. 85 The consequence is, then, thy jealous fits have scared thy husband from the use of wits. Chapter 50 She never reprehended him but mildly, when he demeaned himself rough, rude, and wildly. Why bear you these rebukes, and answer not? 90 She did betray me to my own reproof. Good people, enter and lay hold on him. No, not a creature enters in my house. Then let your servants bring my husband forth. Neither, he took this place for sanctuary. 95 And it shall privilege him from your hands, till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labor in assaying it. I will attend my husband, be his nurse. Chapter 501 At his sickness, for it is my office. 100 And will have no attorney but myself. And therefore let me have him home with me. Be patient, for I will not let him stir, till I have used the approved means I have, with wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers. 105 To make of him a formal man again. Chapter 1 T is a branch and parcel of mine oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore depart, and leave him here with me. I will not hence, and leave my husband here. 110 And ill it doth beseem your holiness to separate the husband and the wife. Be quiet and depart, thou shalt not have him. Exit. Chapter 50 Complain unto the Duke of this indignity. Come go, I will fall prostrate at his feet. 115 And never rise until my tears and prayers have won his grace to come in person hither, and take perforce my husband from the abbess. By this I think the dial points at 5. Anon I'm sure, the Duke himself in person. 120 Comes this way to the melancholy vale, the place of death and sorry execution, behind the ditches of the abbey here. Upon what cause? To see a reverend Syracusan merchant. 125 Who put unluckily into this bay, against the laws and statutes of this town, beheaded publicly for his offense. See where they come, we will behold his death. Chapter 50 Kneel to the Duke before he pass the abbey. Enter Duke attended, aged bareheaded, with the headsman and other officers. 130 Duke, yet once again proclaim it publicly. Chapter 1 If any friend will pay the sum for him, he shall not die, so much we tender him. Justice, most sacred Duke against the abbess. Chapter 500 she is a virtuous and a reverend lady. 135 It cannot be that she hath done thee wrong. May it please your grace, Antipholus my husband, whom I made lord of me and all I had, at your important letters, this ill day, a most outrageous fit of madness took him. 140 That desperately he hurried through the street, with him his bondman, all as mad as he. Chapter 500 Owing displeasure to the citizens, by rushing in their houses, bearing thence rings, jewels, anything his rage did like. 145 Once did I get him bound, and sent him home, whilst to take order for the wrongs I went, that here and there his fury had committed. Anon, I wot not by what strong escape, he broke from those that had the guard of him. 150 And with his mad attendant and himself, each one with ireful passion, with drawn swords. Chapter 1000 At us again and madly bent on us. Chapter 100 Has us away, till raising of more aid, we came again to bind them, then they flee into this abbey, whither we pursued them. And here the abbess shuts the gates on us, and will not suffer us to fetch him out, nor send him forth, that we may bear him hence. Therefore, most gracious Duke, with thy command let him be brought forth, and borne hence for help. Chapter 500 Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I to thee engaged a prince's word. when thou didst make him master of thy bed. To do him all the grace and good I could go, some of you, knock at the abbey gate, and bid the lady abbess come to me. Chapter 1 will determine this before I stir. Enter a servant. Serve, O mistress, mistress, shift and save yourself. Chapter 1000, why master and his man are both broke loose. 170 beaten the maids a row, and bound the doctor, whose beard they have singed off with brands of fire. And ever, as it blazed, they threw on him great pails of puddled mire to quench the hair. Chapter 1000, why master preaches patience to him and the while. 175, his man with scissors nicks him like a fool. And sure, unless you send some present help, between them they will kill the conjurer. Adder, peace, fool, thy master and his man are here. And that is false thou dost report to us. 180 serve, mistress, upon my life I tell you true. Chapter 1, have not breathed almost since I did see it. He cries for you, and vows if he can take you, to scorch your face and to disfigure you, cry within. Hark, hark, I hear him, mistress, fly, be gone. 185 Duke, come stand by me, fear nothing, guard with halberds. Adder, I me, it is my husband, witness you, that he is born about invisible. Even now, we housed him in the abbey here. And now he's there, past thought of human reason. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus and Dromio of Ephesus. 190 Ant, justice, most gracious Duke, O grant me justice. Even for the service that long since I did thee, when I bestrid thee in the wars and took. Chapter 500, Eep scars to save thy life, even for the blood that then I lost for thee, now grant me justice. 195 Age, unless the fear of death doth make me dote. Chapter 1, see my son Antipholus and Dromio. Ant, justice, sweet prince, against that woman there, she whom thou gavest to me to be my wife, that hath abused and dishonored me. 200, even in the strength and height of injury, beyond imagination is the wrong that she this day hath shameless thrown on me. Chapter 500, Uke, discover how, and thou shalt find me just. Ant, this day, great Duke, she shut the doors upon me. 205, while she with harlots feasted in my house. Chapter 500, Uke, a grievous fault, say, woman, didst thou so? Adder, no, my good lord, myself, he, and my sister. Today did dine together, so befoul my soul. As this is false, he burdens me withal. 210 Luke, ne'er may I look on day, nor sleep on night. But she tells to your highness simple truth. Ang, O perjured woman, they are both forsworn. Chapter 1, end this the madman justly chargeth them. Ant, my liege, I am advised what I say. 215, neither disturbed with the effect of wine, nor heady rash, provoked with raging ire. Albeit my wrongs might make one wiser mad. This woman locked me out this day from dinner. That goldsmith there, were he not packed with her. 220 could witness it, for he was with me then. Who parted with me to go fetch a chain, promising to bring it to the Porpentine, where Balthazar and I did dine together. Our dinner done, and he not coming thither. 225 I went to seek him, in the street I met him, and in his company that gentleman. There did this perjured goldsmith swear me down, that I this day of him received the chain, which God he knows I saw not, for the which. 230 he did arrest me with an officer. Chapter 1, did obey and sent my peasant home. For certain ducats he with none returned. Then fairly I bespoke the officer to go in person with me to my house. 235 by the way we met my wife, her sister, and a rabble more of vile confederates along with them. They brought one pinch, a hungry lean-faced villain, A mere anatomy, a mountebank. A threadbare juggler and a fortune teller. 240 a needy, hollow-eyed, sharp-looking wretch. A living dead man, this pernicious slave. Forsooth, took on him as a conjurer. And, gazing in mine eyes, feeling my pulse. And with no face, as twere outfacing me. 245 cries out I was possessed, then all together. They fell upon me, bound me, bore me thence. And in a dark and dankish vault at home, there left me and my man, both bound together. Till, gnawing with my teeth my bonds in sunder. 250 I gained my freedom, and immediately ran hither to your grace, whom I beseech, to give me ample satisfaction for these deep shames and great indignities. My lord, in truth, thus far I witness with him. 255 that he dined not at home, but was locked out. Chapter 500, Uke, but had he such a chain of thee or no? He had, my lord, and when he ran in here, these people saw the chain about his neck. Sekmer, besides I will be sworn these ears of mine. 260, heard you confess you had the chain of him. After you first forswore it on the mart. And thereupon I drew my sword on you. And then you fled into this abbey here. From whence, I think, you are come by miracle. 265 I never came within these abbey walls. Nor ever didst thou draw thy sword on me. Chapter 1, never saw the chain, so help me heaven. And this is false, you burden me withal. Chapter 500, Uke, why, what an intricate impeach is this. 270 I think you all have drunk of Circe's cup. Chapter 1, here you housed him, here he would have been. Chapter 1, if he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say he dined at home, the goldsmith here. Chapter 500, I's that saying, Sirrah, what say you? 275 Dro, sir, he dined with her there at the Porpentine. Chapter 100, he did, and from my finger snatched that ring. It's true, my liege, this ring I had of her. Chapter 500, Uke, saw'st thou him enter at the abbey here? Chapter 100, as sure, my liege, as I do see your grace. 280 Duke, why this is strange, go call the abbess hither. Chapter 1, think you are all mated or stark mad. Exit 1 to the abbess. Age, most mighty Duke, vouchsafe me speak a word. Haply I see a friend will save my life, and pay the sum that may deliver me. 285 Duke, speak freely, Syracusan, what thou wilt. Age, is not your name, sir, called Antipholus? And is not that your bondman, Dromio? Chapter 500, Row, within this hour I was his bondman, sir. But he, I thank him, gnawed into my cords. 290 now am I Dromio, and his man unbound. Age, I am sure you both of you remember me. Chapter 500, Row, ourselves we do remember, sir, by you. For lately we were bound, as you are now. You are not Pinch's patient, are you, sir? 295 Age, why look you strange on me, you know me well. I never saw you in my life till now. Age, oh, grief hath changed me since you saw me last. And careful hours with time's deformed hand have written strange defeatures in my face. 300 but tell me yet, dost thou not know my voice? Neither. Age, Dromio nor thou. Chapter 500, Row, No, trust me, sir, nor I. Age, I am sure thou dost. Chapter 500, Row, I, sir, but I am sure I do not, and whatsoever 305 a man denies, you are now bound to believe him. Age, not know my voice, O time's extremity. Hast thou so cracked and splitted my poor tongue? Chapter 1, and 7 short years that here my only son knows not my feeble key of untuned cares. 310, though now this grained face of mine be Chapter 1, and sap-consuming winter's drizzled snow. And all the conduits of my blood froze up. Yet hath my night of life some memory. Chapter 1000. Why wasting lamps some fading glimmer left. 315. My dull deaf ears a little used to hear. All these old witnesses I cannot err. Tell me thou art my son Antipholus. I never saw my father in my life. Age but 7 years since in Syracuse a boy. 320. Thou know'st we parted, but perhaps, my son, thou shamest to acknowledge me in misery. The Duke and all that know me in the city. Chapter 100. And witness with me that it is not so. Chapter 1. Ne'er saw Syracuse in my life. 325. Duke. I tell thee, Syracusan, 20 years. Have I been patron to Antipholus? Chapter 500. During which time he ne'er saw Syracuse. Chapter 1. See thy age and dangers make thee dote. Re-enter Abbess, with Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse. Abbs, most mighty Duke, behold a man much wronged. All gather to see the adder. I see 2 husbands, or mine eyes deceive me. Chapter 500. Uke, one of these men is genius to the other. And so of these, which is the natural man? And which the spirit, who deciphers them? Chapter 500. Ro, si sir Dromio, command him away. 335. Dro, sir Dromio, pray let me stay. Agent art thou not, or else his ghost? Chapter 500. Ro, so my old master, who hath bound him here? Whoever bound him, I will loose his bonds, and gain a husband by his liberty. 340. Speak, old agent, if thou be'st he the man that hadst a wife once called Emilia, that bore thee at a burden 2 fair sons. Oh, if thou be'st he the same agent, speak, and speak unto the same Emilia. 345. Age, if I dream not, thou art Emilia. Chapter 1. If thou art she, tell me where is that son that floated with thee on the fatal raft? By men of Epidamnum he and I, and the twin Dromio, all were taken up. 350. But by rude fishermen of Corinth, by force took Dromio and my son from them, and me they left with those of Epidamnum. What then became of them I cannot tell. Chapter 1. To this fortune that you see me in. 355. Duke. Why, here begins his morning story, right? These 2 Antipholuses, these 2 so like, and these 2 Dromios, one in semblance, besides her urging of her wreck at sea. These are the parents to these children. 360. Which accidentally are met together. Antipholus, thou camest from Corinth first. No sir, not I came from Syracuse. Chapter 500. Uke, stand apart, I know not which is which. I came from Corinth, my most gracious lord. 365. Dro, and I with him. Brought to this town by that most famous warrior. Chapter 500. Uke Menephin, your most renowned uncle. Adder, which of you 2 did dine with me today? Si, gentle mistress. Adder. And are not you my husband? 370. No, I say nay to that. And so do I, yet did she call me so. And this fair gentlewoman, her sister here. Chapter 999. Call me brother, what I told you then. Chapter 1. Hope I shall have leisure to make good. 375. If this be not a dream I see and hear. That is the chain, sir, which you had of me. I think it be, sir, I deny it not. And you, sir, for this chain arrested me. I think I did, sir, I deny it not. 380. Adder. I sent you money, sir, to be your bail. By Dromio, but I think he brought it not. Chapter 500. Ro, no none by me. This purse of ducats I received from you. And Dromio, my man, did bring them me. 385 I see, we still did meet each other's man. And I was tan for him, and he for me. And thereupon these errors are arose. Ant, these ducats pawn I for my father here. Chapter 500, Uke, it shall not need, thy father hath his life. 390 Cur, sir, I must have that diamond from you. Ant, there take it, and much thanks for my good cheer. Ab, renowned Duke, vouchsafe to take the pains to go with us into the abbey here. And here at large discoursed all our fortunes. 395, and all that are assembled in this place. That by this sympathized one day's error. Have suffered wrong, go keep us company. And we shall make full satisfaction. 33 years have I but gone in trav of you, my sons, until this present hour. Chapter 1000, Why heavy burthen ne'er delivered. The Duke, my husband, and my children both. And you the calendars of their nativity. Go to a gossip's feast and go with me. 405 After so long grief, such nativity. Chapter 500, Uke, with all my heart I'll gossip at this feast. Exeunt all but ant s ant, dro s and dro, e. Chapter 500, Row, s master shall I fetch your stuff from shipboard? Ant, Dromio, what stuff of mine hast thou embarked? Chapter 500, Row, s your goods that lay at host, sir, in the centaur. 410 Ant, s he speaks to me, I am your master, Dromio. Chapter 100, go with us, we'll look to that anon. Embrace thy brother there, rejoice with him. Exeunt Ant, s and Ant, e. Chapter 500, Row, s there is a fat friend at your master's house. That kitchen me for you today at dinner. 415 She now shall be my sister, not my wife. Chapter 500, Row, methinks you are my glass and not my brother. Chapter 1, See by you I am a sweet-faced youth. Will you walk in to see their gossiping? Chapter 500, Row, s not I, sir, you are my elder. 420 Dro, that's a question, how shall we try it? Chapter 500, Row, s will draw cuts for the senior, till then lead thou first. Chapter 500, Row, nay then thus. We came into the world like brother and brother. And now let's go hand in hand, not one before another.